everyone, my name is Steve. Today I'm gonna show you a demo on LINQ-To-Object using C# LINQ query syntax, and I'll also show you some benefits of using LINQ compared to without LINQ. Let's dive into the code and I will explain more along the way. Let's say, for example, we have an array, string array. So this string array holds some student name. So I will say student's name equals to John, Mike, and have another one more, Mary. Say for example I want to show all these array elements just print out. So normally we'll use a for each loop for each student. Let's copy this over. We will use the CW tab. By the way, just now I also did the tab and a tag for each tab. We will create for me this list of code. So here I will just type student. Here we go. We have John, Mike, and Mary. So say for example I just want to show Mike. If this array got an element of Mike and I just want to print it out. Otherwise I don't print it. So what do I do usually? I can do it by putting an if statement here. If student is equals Mike, I'll print it out. Otherwise I don't. So I got a Mike. If you take a look of this way of filtering, we are using an if statement inside the for each loop. So alternatively, you can choose to use another way to get the same output. This other way that I'm referring to is by using LINQ to do it. So we use this thing called LINQ-To-Object. So LINQ-To-Object is one of the many types of LINQ. We have LINQ-To-Object, we have LINQ-To-Entities, we have LINQ-To-XML, and so on. So in this section I'll be focusing on LINQ-To-Object. So LINQ-To-Object, you can also choose two types of syntax. You can choose LINQ query syntax or LINQ method syntax. Here I'll be using LINQ query syntax. So LINQ query syntax, how it looks like. So we type var to create the output of LINQ. You can say filter student is equals to from as in student name. Okay, this is the data set. It can be an array, it can be an object collection. Later we will be using another example, object collection. Like here I just use the string array. From as in student name, select as. Let's this query's syntax is very similar with the SQL syntax if you have learned SQL before. But instead of starting with the select, SQL query we will start with the select, but in LINQ query syntax we will end with the select and start with the from keyword. And here we can do the filtering. Instead of putting the if statement to filter after the for each loop, inside the for each loop, we can replace this if, what we want to filter, in the where clause. How we do it? Has dot equal, basically we're typing the same thing. Whereas dot equals Mike. So what we need to do is that instead of looping from the string array student's name, we replace student's name with this link to object, the output of this. So after that, we can just remove the if statement. We don't really need it anymore. Control K, Control D just to format our code. Okay, and we try to run it. We should be getting the same output. Yes, we do get the same output. Mike. Can change it to something else. Let's say we want to filter and. Yes, we can see and. Now LINQ-To-Object is not just for string array, it can be also for integer array. I mentioned can be for any type of data set, array, list object, and so on. So here we can call this student age, for example. Initialize the value 16, 19, 20, 21, or probably 18. Now let's say I want to filter all the student age which is greater than 17, for example. How do we do it? So instead of from as in student name, we replace with student's age. Here we can change our where clause to put the greater as greater than 70. Control F5. Okay, greater than 70, we have 3 results: 18, 19, 20. We can even order. We want to show from the ascending order by. As I mentioned to you, this LINQ query syntax is very similar with the SQL syntax. In SQL syntax, we have order by. Here we can put order by as well. Order by as, and put ascending order. Keyword is ascending. Control F5, 18, 19, 20. We can even add a range. If you want to add a range, you put the n as less than 19, for example. So what we get, the output should give you this element 18. Yes, 18. So this is basically linked to a link object. Once again, we can choose two types of syntax: link query syntax or link method syntax. Next time, I'll show you the link method syntax. But for now, it's good to start with link query syntax, although Microsoft recommend link method syntax. But for those who come from the SQL background, you have the knowledge of SQL, you have learned SQL before, and you want to jump into link, it's better to learn link query syntax first, because link query syntax is very similar with link query syntax is very similar with SQL syntax. So after you're familiar with link query syntax, you're comfortable with it, then after that you can move to link method syntax. Right. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use LINQ-To-Object, not just for string array, not just for integer array, but for others, like for example list object and so on. Okay, we have a string array here and we have integer array here, but let's say I want to show all the students with their age. How do I do that? Because I can use a for loop to do that, but it's going to be very troublesome. Since I know that John, the age is 16, Mike's age is 19, and Anne age is 20, and Mary's age is 18, I can actually create a class just to store this set of information instead of having a different array for a different set of data. I can create a class and use the object to store all this data. So let's first create the class. I call this student. So here I will be putting an ID, and what I'm doing here is I'm creating the properties, student name. If you want to copy and paste this line, you can use the shortcut keyboard. The keyboard shortcut is the key is Control D, or you can use the shortcut PROP tab. Okay, it gives you the code. Say age. In this class student, I have three properties: ID, name, and age. This is not something related to link, something related to class and object, which covered in my class and object topic. If you want to know more, you can check out my other videos. This is just a revision on class and object. So very quickly, we can create a list of students. So here I use list student, and I'll say student list, or you can use students. Okay, for me I prefer student list equals to new list student, and we can initialize our data by using the object inside, adding the object as new student. So here ID equals to, for example, 1, and name is equals to John. John is 16 years old. So I use the Control D, comma, Control D, Control D, Control D. Yeah, I'll just quickly change it to Mike 19 3 and 20 for Mary 18. Right, now I have a list object which store 4 student object inside it through this thing called collection initializer. Basically, this is a collection initializer. We can straight away initialize the collection as we create the objects. So we can now delete this to string array and integer array. And let's try to print out everything first without a filter. And think, let's try to print out all the students with the name and the age. How do we do that? Here we have to change. Instead of putting student age is no longer there. We have just remove it. We can just type student list. This student list is referring to this list object that I've just created. So everything is the same. Filter student, and let's see what happens. We can't just print it up because now this student is a student object. For each student object, what do you want to print? Guess you can't print out this whole thing. You have to specify what particular properties that you want to print. So here we can use the dot notation. So that's the amazing thing. After you have created the class and the object, you can choose what properties that you want to print. This is only when you have a class and the objects. I want to print the student name, for example. So Control F5. I'll get the same output, but the difference is I can show both name and the age. So here I'll use a string interpolation. I can choose to use the concatenation way. For example, student. If I want to concatenate, I will have to use all this plus symbol, student dots age. John 16, Mike 19, so on. But I prefer to use a string interpolation here. If I want to use a string interpolation, I use this $, followed by just a set of double quotes for all the things that I want to print. So inside each variable, or if it's not a string, it's an object, variable, or anything, you have to wrap it around with the curly brackets. Control F5, I'll be getting the same thing. Okay, so far what we did is just a normal, we create a class and we create a list object to store 4 different student object in it. But here we can filter. Just now we did a few ways of filtering. We use a where clause, we use an order by. There are a few more that I want to show you here. So let's say, for example, you want to show all the student with start with the letter M. The name start with the letter M. We can choose this called, you see, once we use an object, we have to put the dot notation before doing filtering. We cannot just where dot equals, it's wrong. This is what we did just now. We put a dot equals, but here we have to specify first what particular properties that you want to filter. So here I want to filter the student name, so I have to choose student name. Then after that, you use the equals, dot equals, dot equals, no dot equals, I want to start with instead of dot equal. Dot equal, it means I want to filter one particular element. So I want to start with. Start with means whatever first letter. If it matches, then it will be the output. So start with letter M. Okay, Mike and Mary is the output. We can also show, let's say for example, all the students end with the letter N. So we have start with, we have also ends with. So if you remember start with, hopefully you will remember it ends with the letter N. Right. And you can also, let's say for example, you want to filter all the students with the letter M or letter A. So here I have Mary with the letter A. To do that, you can use another type called contains. Okay, contain is similar to, in SQL, the like keyword, the like and percentage keyword. So there are so many different ways of filtering that you can use. If you refer to the reference, the link reference, you just search for it. There are so many ways that you can filter besides all this dot contain, dot equals, dot start with, dot end. We'll not go through all the lists. If you just take a look, there's so many you can choose to use. I'm gonna go through everything, but we can start with a few common ones first to practice, to get comfortable with, and as you create more different projects, you will learn more different features in LINQ. Hopefully this short session helps you to understand more on LINQ-To-Object using LINQ query syntax. In future, I'll be covering LINQ-To-Entities, how you can use LINQ-To-Entities to connect to the database and read some data, or you can do the update, you can do the delete, you can insert the data to the records in the database. Hopefully these sessions benefits everyone here who is listening to this tutorial. If this video has benefited you and you've learned something new today, I hope that you can click like and subscribe to my channel and comment below what are things that you wish to learn as well.